I have filmed 100 times and I will film 100 more just to be the gal who filmed 200 times and still will film some more. Da 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 da. Yay! You're welcome. Hi friends, welcome to the Quirky Monday. Hi friends, welcome to episode 100 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, I think. Yeah, Tuesday, October 8th, and I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida. Where this episode is going to be glare central on my glasses because it's raining outside, so we've got no natural light, so I just have the light on top of me, which is just causing all sort of glare on my non-glare glasses. I don't understand that. Anyway, we're here for episode 100. I don't have any admin. The viewer who was chosen to get the gift of the zipper bag, the I'm Enough zipper bag, has gotten back to me. So thank you so much. I'm going to be mailing that out to you as soon as possible. But other than that, I don't have any admin, so we can jump right into the crafty bits. So I have no finished objects. At least I don't think I do. When I was writing up my notes, I couldn't think of any, but so no finished objects. That'll take us right into works in progress. So for works in progress, I have two things that I want to talk about. First is the second socks. First is, this subject verb agreement is about to be all jacked up. My first work in progress are the pairs of socks for my camp socks. That was very cringy. So I may have made a poor choice that's probably going to make me cry later, but I've done both of the cuffs for the socks. This is the cuff for Camp Hawthorne and this is the cuff for Camp Kalakwa. And as you can see, they're on the same needle, so I am going to be working these two at a time. And that's 2 at a time socks, and each sock has a different pattern. Is this a poor choice? Maybe. But that is that. The yarn that I'm using, the green, there's strings everywhere. The green is Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in the Pea Pod colorway, and the blue is Deborah Norville Serenity Sock in the Sky Blue colorway. Yeah. Hopefully, once I get those started, it'll be smooth sailing for them. We're hoping. The patterns are really easy to memorize. It's about a 4 stitch or a 4 row repeat for both of the patterns. And they're very easy to read. Like once you get started, it's very easy to read your knitting. So hopefully that won't cause me to want to pull my hair out. Fingers crossed. The next work in progress though, is not making me want to pull my hair out, but it's making me feel stressed out. So this is the Milu shawl by Tamy Gore. And Milu is a shawl pattern. I'll put up a picture. But it has some striping, some eyelets, and some color work in it, as well as some texture, slip stitch texture. I think that's everything, and you can like see that in the picture a little bit. I've gotten through the slip stitch section, the stripes, and now I'm at the color work. And because it's a shawl, you are purling color work. I was good on the knit row. Like I did one row of color work, the knit row, and then when I turned around I had to purl back. It's just been really, really difficult. So let me show you the colors I'm using first, and then I'll show you the shawl. So this shawl is being knit out of Barocco Remix Light, and here's the label. So that's what the label looks like. It's 100% recycled fibers, and it's 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, and 9% linen. This color is Buttercup, this is Ocean, and this is Mist. Color 1, color 2, color 3 is how I'm working them. So you've seen the yarn. Now let me show you the shawl, which I'm in the middle of a row because I'm scared. I'm scared, y'all. Okay. So this is what it's looking like so far. This is the first section. This is the slip stitch section. We've got stripes, and then you can see there's like 2 rows. Well, technically it's 1.5 rows of color work. Now, first let's address my second mistake. The first mistake you can't even really see because I made a mistake in the slip stitch section, but you can't even see that. This mistake though is obvious. I was supposed to be striping color 1 and color 3 in here, but somehow I started striping color 1 and color 2, and then halfway through realized my mistake, and I didn't want to tink back because there's quite a few stitches, or I didn't want to rip back because there's quite a few stitches on the needles right now. I was just like, it's fine. And then I just did colors 2 and 3 at the bottom of the stripes. It's fine. Somebody commented last week on, what did they say? It was like my forgiveness of myself, because I always say like, it's fine. I hope that doesn't get annoying. If it does, I do apologize. But I just have to remind myself that it really is fine. There's nothing to get bent out of shape about. But when I realized the mistake I had made with the colors, I was kind of contemplating ripping back. I didn't want to, but I'm using a different yarn than Tamy did, than Tamy calls for, and I don't think anyone else has made this shawl out of this yarn. So I'm a little bit stressed out that I'm going to run out of yarn. We'll see. Hopefully not. But what I ended up doing was drawing out, like doodling out the shawl and putting in the colors. So this is what it was supposed to be. This is how how the pattern calls for you to use your 3 colors. Then I did this one, which is where I made the mistake of the colors, and then decided to put the yellow here and see what that looked like, and didn't really like that. Plus, I didn't want to run out of yellow because yellow is my last color as well, so I'll be using a whole lot of it here. And so then I went here, which just puts a little bit of the yellow right there, with the blue and the gray like I accidentally did. And then the rest of it, I did the same as I was originally going to do. And I like that. So that's what we did. Now, back to this color work situation. I have spent so much time looking for tutorials and videos on how to work color work on the purl side. Now, I've found lots of videos. I found quite a few videos with people purling color work on the purl side, catching floats on the purl side, like how to hold your yarns, how to do this, how to do that. But the problem I'm having is when I first did color work, like my first big color work project was the Hogwarts of History sweater. I'm pointing because it's over there. But the Hogwarts of History sweater, and I held both yarns in my left hand because I'm a continental knitter, which felt right because I came to yarn through crochet, so I'm used to tensioning my yarn with my left hand. And that is something I have not been able to find. I have not been able to find a video or any kind of like explanation on how to purl color work and catch the floats while holding both yarns continental. Does anybody do that? Does anyone know any resources I can look at that will help me with this? When I found that I couldn't find what I was looking for, I decided to try holding the yarn in two hands, but it was just getting really, really confusing for me and really like kind of a little bit painful. So you guys, if you watched last episode, you know that I'm on a crochet ban right now because of the elbow pain that I'm having. And when I did probably half a row on this shawl with the yarn in two hands, and then my elbow kind of started to like twinge a little bit. So, yeah, I need help, guys. So I stopped halfway through this row, because I was feeling myself getting annoyed and frustrated with the pattern and with the project. Well, not with the pattern, but with the project. Because I couldn't do the color work. Because I physically couldn't do the color work, even though in my mind I know it's something that I can do. So that's a little bit frustrating. There's a couple other things I want to try to do with the color work on the purl side. I don't know if they're going to be more or less frustrating than what I'm currently doing. So now, I watched Kristen of Bogolanfini podcast. I watched her video on purling color work, and she works with a yarn in both of her hands. So I can slowly do it that way, but it's not comfortable at all. And like I said, it's starting to make my elbow hurt by holding the yarn or holding one of the yarns in my right hand. I was working on this yesterday during my lunch break, and I did manage to come up with a way of holding both yarns in my left hand and being able to catch the floats. Like, that's the problem I'm having. I can purl with the color work with both of them in my left hand. That's fine. But when it comes to catching my float with them both in my left hand, it's kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I managed to do it twice yesterday. And when I tell you guys, I was talking myself through the mechanics of catching a float and saying, okay, if I need this yarn to go to this place, then this is the motion I should do to get it done. And I caught the float. And then the very next time I had to do it, I had no idea what I did. So I think what I'm going to do after I finish recording this, I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to record myself so that I can see exactly what it is that I'm doing and try to make this, like, to get rid of, or to, not to get rid, to get finished down the rest of this row. Yeah. But other than the kind of terror and frustration I'm having behind purling color work, this pattern has been really good. It's very clearly written. The mistakes that I made in the stitching as well as the color choices were completely mine because I was not paying attention to what I should have been doing. But yeah, that's that. This is my project for the BIPOC Make-Along, which is going until November 2nd. And that's a make-along that's hosted by Desamour Designs, who's Elisabeth Desamour, as well as the BIPOC Makers Project. And they're doing weekly prizes. And yeah, so it's just a make-along to get more eyes and hands, needles and crochet hooks onto designs that were created by people who identify as Black, Indigenous, or a person of color. So there's that. Y'all, I might even have to do a swatch. I think that's what I'm going to do. Instead of trying to figure it out on my shawl, I'm going to knit up a swatch and practice on that. Which is what I should have done at the beginning. Because I didn't know how to purl color work. But I mean, I just jump into projects. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, so we should insert the needle. Go over both, hold the one down that needs to be caught, grab the stitching yarn, bring this one back through, off, and then purl one as regular. Insert your needle. Go in front, bring that yarn down, go around, bring it back around, off. Purl one as usual to uncross those. Okay. 2, insert your needle, go in front of both, hold the caught one down, yarn over, bring the caught one around, pull it off. And the next one is a white. Purl as usual. Purl. 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 Yes, we did it. So that is everything for works in progress. The next 2 sections we have are maker plans and stash acquisitions. I'm putting those together because my maker plan supplies are in stash acquisitions, as what normally happens. So, maker plans / stash acquisitions. I got this at Joann's or Michael's, one of those stores. Went in there, I got this because I want a pair of like Grinch feet slippers. I know that's completely appropriate for me, right? I think last year I saw a pattern for like elf shoes that had the little curl at the toe, a little bell on it. So I'm thinking about making myself a pair of Grinch feet by using like an elf shoe pattern and making it out of this fuzzy nubbly yarn. I have not used homespun yarn in so long. I think the last time I did a project out of this was when I lived in Huntsville, and I've been in Florida for almost 7 years now. So this is a throwback in my yarny life. But I thought these colors were just they're perfectly Grinchy, right? And someone also mentioned, I think in last week's comments, asking if we were going to do like a Grinch along. I know, I looked on Instagram and it appears that someone has been hosting a Grinch along for the past 4 or 5 years, I think. So I would love to do a Grinch along. We obviously would have to call it something different than Grinch along because that's already taken. But yeah. I think I do want to do something like that. Something festive and Grinchy because why not? And we've got Grinchy Nelly hanging out over there in the corner. So I'm going to have Grinch feet for Christmas. Yay! But my little Grinchy feet will not be ice cold in the snow because Florida. That's the only thing I have for maker plans is my little Grinch feet. which I don't know when I'm going to start those because I think I want to crochet those and my elbow's not ready. It's not ready. It's not ready. So the rest of my stash acquisitions are as follows. And I quote, stink, stank, stunk, ba-doom. I'm feeling really grinchy today, guys. I apologize. I don't apologize. Why did I even say that? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay, so I have a couple other stash acquisitions, and they are true stash because I don't have plans for them as of right now. So the first is this little bag of Deborah Norville Serenity Sock. So a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how they have discontinued this at Joann's. And then someone said that they think that it's an across the board thing, like maybe Deborah Norville and Premier Yarns are just done, because it's not even listed on the Premier Yarns website anymore. So I was able to do a yarn and pattern trade with Brittany of the Perpetual Crafter podcast, and she sent me this yarn and I sent her a pattern. So I have lots of yarn for my sock knitting escapades, which is really happy, like makes me really happy on the inside. I'm really excited about this one because I feel like it might stripe. I'm not sure. Never mind. That's not going to stripe. That's gonna be like a variegated, because you see how short those color changes are. So it's going to be kind of like a choppy variegated look. And I've got 2 balls of that. I've got 4, I think. Yeah, I have 4 balls of the green. 3 of those greens are the same dye lot, and the 4th one is different. It's visually different. Then I have 1 ball of gray and 1 ball of navy blue. So thumbs up for that. The next stash position I have is a pattern that I purchased. It was just released today. I think she just did her release video earlier today. And that is the Podcaster Shawl by Lori of the Lori Lulu podcast. And like, this was definitely one of those projects that I thought was really, really cute as she was working on it. It's the 4th pattern in her Inspiring Women collection. And she designed it with thoughts of some of her favorite podcasters. And it just made my little heart grow 3 sizes because she listed me amongst those podcasters. So it's so awesome to be like within that group of people that she enjoys watching. But the thing that I thought was really funny about her shawl was that part of it was this really bright rainbowy yarn that she used, and the yarn was called Clown Car. And whenever she talked about the shawl during her episodes, and she mentioned that, you know, it's inspired by all of these different people and the color is Clown Car, all I could see in my mind was like when you're at the circus, or not even really at the circus, like when you're watching cartoons of the circus and that teeny tiny little car like a VW Bug drives into the ring, and then like 85 clowns get out the car. Like, that's what it felt like to me, and it just made me laugh every time she talked about that shawl. So one of the other things that really inspired me to purchase it was the fact that she had puff stitches, which I don't often use when I'm crocheting, so it's going to be fun to do a different stitch. And one of her testers made the shawl in 1 color, and it looks really, really pretty and elegant in the color that tester used. I think it was like either a cream or a soft gray, one of the 2, but it looks so elegant, and I immediately thought, oh, I can totally wear that to church, or, you know, make 2 of them and then seam it down the middle for like a blanket or something like that. But of course, it is a crochet pattern, so I won't be able to work on it anytime soon. You guys know the drill. I will put a link down below to Lori's Ravelry as well as her podcast, so you can check out her content as well as check out the podcaster shawl and the other shawls that she has released so far. Guys, as soon as I finished recording, I got some happy mail. Yay! One, I was expecting. Adrian of the Freakish Lemon podcast has a Destash account, which I will link down below. And he posted some Deborah Norville Serenity socks, so I had to snap that up. And he also had some Patton's, what is this? Patton's Classic Wool and the DK Superwash. So I got these two. What color is this? Apple green. Yes. And I have some more of these in stash. So when I saw this color, I was really excited about that. I have some of a more like greeny green in stash, so maybe I'll make something with those together. And then these are the two Serenity socks that I got. I got 2 of the burgundy and 2 of the charcoal. And Adrian also sent, rustle, crinkle, this little pin with a sheep and a top hat, and some Captain America stitch markers. The other piece of happy mail I was not expecting at all, and it was this little package here from Claudia of the CrochetLuna podcast. And she said as soon as she got this in, I think it was, is it Ipsy? Yeah, an Ipsy subscription, when she saw the pattern, she was like, oh, this is for Kalisha. So if you watched my past episodes, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 episodes back, I kind of did a tiny little rant about constellation prints that are not real constellations. These are all real constellations. Good job, Ipsy. So inside this little package, she included one of the makeup things. It's an eyeshadow. I should be fancy one day and wear eyeshadow on the podcast. I can't even open this. That's how you know that I don't wear makeup. I can't even open the thing. Come on, hands. I did it. Ooh, this is pretty. It's like a rose gold. Now I'm gonna get makeup on everything. Yeah, that's really pretty. I should wear some makeup on Sabbath and see if Lamar notices. He probably will, because it's very few and far between that I actually put stuff on my face. But she sent me also a couple pins and a pressed penny. Because who is your friendly neighborhood lover of pressed pennies? This girl. This one says from Stash, this crocheter knits, and pressed penny from the M&M store. It says Eminem's World, Las Vegas. And it's got the, what is she, the brown one? Yes. Is it the brown M&M that has the heels? And she's so sassy? Sassy, 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 so sassy. Name that YouTuber. I'm sure you guys know who that is. And then there's also a progress keeper right there. So thank you so much, Claudia, for my surprise. I don't know what I'm gonna put in here. Is this crochet hook sized? Let's find out. Oh, I think it is. Aw, snap. It's perfect for my crochet hooks. And these are the, nope. This one is from Michaels. I think it's like a Loops and Threads brand that kind of looks like the Clover Amour, but these are the Clover Amour ones. And they fit perfectly in here. Y'all have been rehomed. Foldable scissors, because one can never have too many scissors. Darning needle, because they're always missing. Yay! So yeah, that's everything for stash positions, and that will take us into Kalisha and the Babe, where I have some finished objects, and you can see all of them right over my shoulder. So let's talk about this set first. So last episode I showed you this yarn still on the bobbin. Had I plied it already? Yes, this was plied and it was still on the bobbin, so I had to wind it off. And then I showed you the the roving that I created for these two. So the blue yarn, or the blue fiber in this, is the fiber that I got from Hobium, which is a yarn fiber crafty website that ships from Turkey, I believe. And they have where you can purchase yarn supplies and things like that at like low prices and stuff like that. But there's a link down below for their website, as well as some information about what to expect when you get there. So the blue is from Hobium, and the colors, the black, the gray, and the white that are marled in with the blue, I got from Hobby Lobby. So let me hold these up so you can see. So that's the black and blue. This is the gray and blue. Yeah, that's more true to color. And then this is the white and blue, which look, well, yeah, you can see it's white right there. There we go. So I have my little details. So the black came out to be 63.5 yards. The gray came out to 58 yards, and the white came out to 63 yards. So I was really proud of myself for basically getting a consistent spin on these so that I have roughly the same amount across all three skeins. And I want to make something with this, but I don't know what I want to do. This amount of yarn seems to be perfect if you want to do a cowl or something like that, but you know, guys, Florida, not having that kind of life. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this gradient set. I really like it. It's probably about a chunky to bulky, I think, is what it came out to be. And then like in some places even a worsted. But I would say on average probably like a chunky or a bulky. And I don't know what I want to do with it, guys. Any suggestions? I'm very proud of this finished piece. I really like how the yarns came out together. Put those back. The next finished object that I have is over this shoulder, and it's still a little bit damp because I just finished spinning this last night, and I set it to soak this morning, and then I put it outside to dry. However, it has been raining for like 2 days straight. So the amount of humidity that was outside basically made it impossible for this yarn to dry at all. So I will be hanging this up in our bathroom once I show it to you. So this, that's not the color. It's warmer than that. That's more it. The color shifted just a little bit. So this fiber was a set of Rolags that I got from Lori, who was the viewer who sent me the blending board. I'm looking over there because it's over there on the floor. But she sent me the blending board, and with the blending board, she sent me some fiber that she wasn't going to use, or that she wasn't going to get around to. And this was a set of rolags that she created. It was about 30 grams. And I got 93 yards from that. So it's about a sport weight. I don't know the makeup of any of this fiber, so I just have mystery rolags on the tag. There is sparkle, as you can see. And this is the finest I've been able to spin anything as of yet. And one thing I did notice about trying to spin the fiber so fine was that it was really hard. It took a lot to figure out the balance between how fast I'm treadling and the tightness of the brake band on my spinning wheel. But once I kind of got the balance of it, I was able to spin a little bit faster. And I did put up some videos of me working on this fiber on Instagram. So if you aren't following me on Instagram, you can go over there, check it out, and see my spinning style. But I'm excited to try something with this. As I was spinning, I was thinking, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be so cool if I could make this into socks? And I can do a set of sport weight socks. I could do, like, get some sport weight sock yarn, like commercial sport weight sock yarn, maybe like a Patton's Croy tends to be thicker, like a thicker fingering, so I might be able to knit the foot and the heel out of a Patton Croy and then do the leg out of this, which I think would be really cool. But yeah, that's gonna get hung up to finish drying, and I really like those colors. I find that I'm not really a pink or purple person, but occasionally it's like, yeah, I like that. Oh, the color was there for a second. Because right now it's showing up a bit more blue. That's way blue. Hello, white balance. But yeah. And that's everything that I have for Kalisha and the Babe. I don't have any fiber on my wheel right now. That was the last one I finished. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to put up there next. So the next section that we have is Black Fibers, Black Threads. I realized after I uploaded last week's episode when I was talking about getting my DNA ethnicity estimate back from Ancestry, that I was talking about these different fabric types that I had just come across and I was reading about from different countries in Africa. I never put up any pictures. So that's what today's Black Fibers, Black Threads is. I am going to show you a couple pictures of the fabric types from Cameroon, Congo, and Mali. I also have DNA from Benin and Togo. So if I'm able to, between now and when I upload this and finish editing, if I'm able to find some fabric from that area as well, I'll put that in. But my plan with these different fabrics is to pull inspiration for knit and crochet designs and things like that. So I am going to put them up here and you'll be able to see the fabric styles from some of the countries that make up a Kalisha. So I hope you enjoyed seeing those fabrics. I really love the geometric style and flair and the boldness that I see in a lot of these different cloths. So I have found a couple sellers on Etsy that I can buy some of these fabrics from, these style of fabrics from. And there is a local, I don't even know what you would call this store really. It's called Three Masks and it's in Orlando. And they sell a little bit of everything African. And the last time I went in there, the last time and the first time that I went in there, they had these huge cuts of Mudcloth. And I saw them and I just logged it away in my mind like I'm going to purchase one of those one day. And this is the kind of fabric that I wouldn't want to purchase it and like cut into it. I would definitely want to use it as home decor so that the whole piece would stay intact. Maybe even sew a fleece blanket to the back so that it could be like a snuggle blanket or something like that. But I would definitely want to keep the piece whole. But yeah, so I'm looking into bringing those fabrics into my life in physically, as well as capturing the energy and the essence of these fabrics in my yarny expressions. So I'm excited about that. And the last bit of this podcast is life and whatnot. I cannot believe I'm already to life and whatnot. I feel like I forgot something huge I wanted to talk about, but I talked about everything on my notes. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen, or you may have seen, a post that I put up on my stories a couple days ago. And I was talking about how I got elbowed in the face by a grandmother. And first of all, a lot of people thought that a grandmother intentionally elbowed me in the face, which was kind of a funny mental picture for me, like getting like the people's elbow from a grandma. But no, that's not what happened at all. If you don't know, I work in a portrait studio. I work in JCPenney Portraits. And a lot of times when we're trying to get little kids to smile, like the subject of this particular photo shoot was an 18-month-old who had just been woken up from her nap like 10 minutes prior. We'll give her 15. 15 minutes prior, grandma woke her up from her nap, put her clothes on, and brought her into the studio to have pictures taken. Now, I don't know if you all know any 18-month-olds, but the vast majority of them that I've had like experience with do not wake up chipper. She woke up with the straight face. Like, that's how she was looking at me. And kind of the funny thing about the session was that I was not the original photographer. It was 4 of us working that day. The first girl goes into the studio with the grandmother and the 18-month-old. Child is not cracking a smile. So she like motioned for one of the other ones of us to go in. So second girl goes in with her. Third girl goes in with her. And then all 3 of them, in our studio, there's the studio space and then there's a glass wall and then there's the waiting area. I'm still out in the waiting area. All 3 of them are in the studio and they turn around and they look at me through the glass wall like. So I go in there and I guess like when I got in there, they were like, Kalisha's got it. And they left, which is fine. But homegirl was not smiling. She was not smiling at me. And so I was just, in my mind, I'm like, well, grandma, you're getting straight face 18-month-old today. Like this is her vibe today. So, the only thing that got this kid to even look like she might be considering smiling was throwing this ball that we had. So I would like roll the ball to her and she would pick it up and she'd throw it back to me, but her smile was like half a second. So I was like, throw it to grandma. So grandma's here and I'm here, like right behind her off to the side. And so the little girl throws the ball to grandma. And I said, grandma, when you get the ball, put it over my head. So grandma gets the ball and she goes like this to put the ball over my head. And she elbowed me straight in the forehead. Like it still hurts right here. But, oh, she got me solid. And I didn't cry. The tears were there, but I had to calm myself down because, oh my goodness, it hurt so bad. The only other time that I can remember being hit that hard in the face was when I played field hockey in high school, and I got hit by the ball because the girl hit the ball and it went up and it hit me right in the forehead. That actually happened to me twice. And one of my friend's mom was like, Kalisha, you're not going to have any sense left. I was like, take it for the team. We got to win this game. Side note, we never won. So I was taking hockey balls to the face for no reason. But anyway, so the grandma apologized like so much. But I mean, it is what it is. And so I was like, to one point, kids almost always laugh at you when you get hit. Like if an adult gets hit by something or falls down or trips or does something like that, the kid's gonna laugh. This child didn't crack a smile at all. She was just like, you should have ducked. So yeah. So that's one of the perils for, one of the things that happened in my life. Perils of being a photographer. And I was just, shortly after that, I took my lunch. I took a headache medicine. I took a headache pill and sat quietly for my 30 minutes working on that shawl, and went back in for another couple hours. It's not even Christmas yet, guys. Well, it hurts to like scrunch my face up, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think that was like the most eventful thing that has happened to me in the last week. Actually, no, that's not true. My dad is also in town. So Lamar and I got to go have lunch this past Sabbath with my dad and his wife. And we sat and we talked for a few hours, just hanging out and chit-chatting. And it was really nice. So it's cool to be able to see my dad every once in a while. What else? Oh, I wanted to mention this video that I have rewatched. I've probably watched this TED Talk 5 times, and I wrote down the title. It's Your Elusive Creative Genius by Elisabeth Gilbert. And she is the author of Big Magic and Eat, Pray, Love. But I really enjoyed Big Magic. It's a book about living creatively without fear, I think is the tagline of the book. But this particular TED Talk is one where she talks about being a creative, right? And the idea of separating yourself from the creativity. And the reason that I'm mentioning it today is because I was scrolling on Instagram, and Misa of Nitty Bit of Happy she posted a picture, and the caption was waiting to be inspired. And it reminded me of one of the statements that Elisabeth made in that TED Talk, where she was saying how inspiration needs to find you working. And that is something that I think about a lot, where if ever I'm feeling particularly uninspired, or I don't know what to do, or I have the desire to create, but I don't have the motivation or the idea to work on, if you just pick something up and start, just whatever it is, just start a doodle, start crocheting some stitches, start knitting some stitches, put color schemes together. A lot of times I have found that inspiration will grow out of that. And I really, really enjoyed that particular TED Talk. So if for some reason you haven't seen it, when I pulled it up today, it had almost 4 million views. So I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, I've watched it maybe 5 times, and I still get chills thinking about some of the things that she's saying. Just the idea of the inspiration being a disembodied entity from the artist. Like, we are here to give body to that inspiration or to that idea. And I just love that. I love the thought that that ideas are always around waiting for me to be receptive to them, right? The moment that always gives me chills, and I'm even kind of getting chills a little bit thinking about it, is when she's talking about the moment when the idea or the spirit of creativity and that creative person come together, and just that flow and that glow that comes with it. And it's just, if you are the kind of person who gets so wrapped up in what you're creating that you lose track of everything else, or that it's just you and the piece in that space, like, that's the feeling that she's talking about. And she talks about seeing someone experience that feeling and how amazing that is, but also that person who has experienced that feeling, how they could possibly be thinking the next day, or when that feeling is gone, or when you're no longer in the glow of creation, right? That you're just a regular person again, just out here knitting socks, right? Do you have the choice of looking at that change as, I'm never going to touch that glow again, and that can make you really, like, get really down on yourself, or start second guessing, like, am I even worthy of wanting to touch that glow again? Or it can make you feel like that glow is always there, and there's always the potential for me to see and feel that again. And if I never feel that, or if I never get into that space again, then it's okay, but I'm just going to keep creating anyway. And today specifically, I was kind of thinking on my past creative, like, endeavors, I guess you could say. And a lot of times I think about when I was in college and I was writing poetry, and I will always say, man, I wish I could be that poet again. And I've gone back and I've read some of my poetry from then, and I'm just blown away by these pieces that I was creating back then. And I'm just like, I can't write like that now. I'm never going to write like that again. And I do start, like, getting down on myself about that, like, feeling like I have wasted this poetic talent that I had, right? But if I step back and I look at it like that poetic inspiration was, like she says, on loan to me for that time, then it's a lot easier to say, okay, that point in my life was amazing. And yes, it does suck that I'm not creating that same level of amazeball poetry. I hope that doesn't sound conceited or anything, but I really enjoyed my poetry from back then. Like, I really liked it. But now when I write, I'm always kind of comparing now Kalisha to then Kalisha, which is definitely a hindrance to now Kalisha. Like, I need to learn to appreciate the creative person I am now, and to cultivate the creative person I am now, and to truly show up for now Kalisha's creative experience, where poet Kalisha, like then poet Kalisha, didn't knit or crochet for real. So now here I am with these new tools that I can use in this like to express different feelings or different ideas or different things like that. Like I have more tools, I have more creative outlets at my fingertips now than I had back then. So I need to be more attentive and accepting of the creative products that I put out now. And yeah, so I guess I was just really inspired yet again by that TED Talk. It's definitely one that I would recommend all you guys take a listen to. Also, I really like the way that she speaks. She has a very nice voice to listen to, in my opinion. But yeah, I hope that you are finding satisfactory ways to express your creativity in the person that you are right now, and that you don't spend a lot of energy wanting to be the person that you used to be, or wanting to be the crocheter or the maker or the knitter or the painter or the weaver or the spinner that you used to be. Like, cherish and encourage your now creator, right? Yeah. So that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Thank you for hanging out with me for 100 episodes of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. I do appreciate it. Definitely leave a comment in the section down below and let me know positive things that have happened to you guys. I love reading when you guys talk about good things that have happened. And like I'm always saying, also check out what other people are commenting. Celebrate with them on their positive experiences. Celebrate with them with the things that they're sharing, because that's what connecting with each other is about. It's about magnifying our joys and lessening our sorrows. Or not necessarily even lessening our sorrows, lessening the weight of our sorrows, because more of us are helping each other carry them. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.